Okay, we're now recording. Hi, I'm Lisa Morrell, and welcome to Equine Alchemy's special event. This, in particular, is the Audacious Authenticity, How to Be the Real Deal in Life and Business webinar. And I have been planning for this probably for about a month now. Those of you might have received the Hero's Journey series, where I talked about the hero's journey and how that is so relevant to right now, because I feel like we're all on a path, on a quest, and it just seems so appropriate. And then it was funny because I saw other people were looking at the hero's journey as well. I think even Brene Brown was, but this was something close to my heart. I'd actually published an article in Choice magazine, which is the coaching magazine, and on the hero's journey. And so that just made me think of it. I'm here with my kitten, so who knows how she's going to be cooperating. And tonight we've got about an hour, and we're going to be looking at a lot of good material. By the end of this hour, you're going to have a lot of really good stuff. We're going to look at the 4 pillars of a strong and, as I've been saying, kick-ass 6-figure business, and brand and business. We're going to take a little bit deeper look at authenticity. That's part of the other preparation that I've been doing, is looking at what is authenticity? What is authentic, especially now? And I really wanted to look at it for 2021 because I like to look at values. I like to look at where I am, what's important to me, are the things I felt were valuable before still relevant to me right now, so that I'm consistently looking at who I am, who I want to be, and how that is reflected in my business, and who is my herd, and what are your needs, and how can I make sure that I'm clear about who I am, so that can be in everything that I offer you. So that's one of the main reasons why I did all of these emails around authenticity. I wonder if any of you took the authenticity assessment. It is still out there. And I'll have to, I think I'm not going to give you a URL if I don't know what it is. Let's see, that's one thing. For those of you who do not know me, because I saw a lot of new people on the list, welcome to Equine Alchemy and the Herd. And I just want to tell you a little bit. I've been an executive coach and a business coach, organization development and psychology from Columbia University is my teacher's college, is my background. And I helped organizations all over the globe work to try to clarify what it is that they really wanted, their purpose. Was that aligned with what their strategy was? And then how to look at the culture, how to look at the processes, and how to make sure that they could actually do better what they were supposed to do. And then that was a natural transition when I started working with horses. And yes, there's a couple of people on here who were saying they'd like to have the authenticity assessment, so I'll send that to you. So it was a natural thing to just go right into coaching with the horses. And so then that's how I got to begin the program, Equine Assisted Coaching. And for those of you who may or may not know, I started doing that in 2006. So it's been quite a while that I've been doing this, and I love it. So I'm constantly trying to do new things. I'm constantly updating. And this particular class that I was talking about, Business Essentials for Equine Professionals, is something that people have been asking me for a lot. It's included in the Equine Assisted Coach Training course, but I am now opening it up to everyone because I feel like everyone needs to do whatever they can to thrive and be successful and bring this amazing work. So I'm very excited about that. So that's a little bit about me. And I live in Tucson, Arizona now. And I don't know how much you can see behind me, but there's mountains and it's warm and it's really beautiful here. So, all right. So let's get started. What I'm going to be doing is going through some slides. So those of you who are not online. I will be sending out this deck afterwards, so you can be listening. I'm going to be speaking to these slides. And for those of you who are here, you will be able to see the slides. And for those of you who are online, please write down your questions in the chat, because we're going to have some I kind of do Q&A throughout the whole thing, certainly with the chat, but I will also give those of you who are on the phone an opportunity to ask your questions. I'll give a chance for you to have a microphone later. Okay, so let me just share my screen here. My entire screen. And then we want to go down here and we want to go over, let's see, here. Okay, business essentials for equine professionals. I loved this picture. I really felt like it was a beautiful metaphor for those of us who are just kind of stepping out into the world and launching this new adventure, this new business, this new life. And you really, even though you get the skill set of learning how to do it, and there's a lot of courses like that now, you don't always know what to do with it or how to go about it. They're two completely different skill sets. And since that's what I did for 20 years with big and small companies, I have included it in my equine assisted coaching course, but I decided to focus more on it because I felt like I've been asked to do that by so many people. And I think that, I think we all need to brush up on these skills. So again, I'm Lisa Morrell, and I'm the founder of Equine Alchemy, which is, about 2006 or 7. And that's Sebastian in the back. He is a big roan, beautiful. I love him. And of course, I always give Steve Cozart the credits for the photography. He's amazing. Now, what are we going to be covering tonight or today or whatever time it is that you're listening to this? First of all, the 4 essential pillars of a powerful business foundation. And then we'll take a look at the essential connection between your authentic self and brand. Now, I've been doing quite a few of my messages about that because your brand is who you are. And if it's incongruent with what people see, then it's going to be confusing and people are not going to want to come and do business with you. Also, we're going to look at ways to discover and develop what I call your audacious authenticity to make a 6-figure brand and business. I call it audacious authenticity. I don't know. I just thought of that because I felt like it's so important to push ourselves to be who we are in spite of everything we might be thinking about ourselves or believing about ourselves, and what we might be thinking about what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So that's what we're going to look at, these essential pillars, that connection between your authentic self and brand, ways to help you discover and develop that audacious authenticity so that you can build that into your brand and business. So let's take a look at the 4 essential pillars of a powerful business foundation. Now, I've had successful businesses, 6-figure businesses, really. I mean, I know that's kind of a trendy term, but I really have had that since I began working for myself when I was probably 20 or 21. I've had several businesses. Equine Alchemy I knew was going to be the last one because this is my purpose. This is who I am. So let's take a look at this. So these 4 are absolutely coming from experience. The first thing you have to do is to create the container for your success. A lot of people want to just jump right in and just do their stuff. It's so funny. I've always found that while people are learning how to do the equine guided learning or equine assisted coaching, or when you're around the horses, or when I'm doing private coaching with people, everything is so considered. You become so aware. We go through so many things to help us to be present so that we can meet the horses. However, when it comes to actually implementing the horse wisdom, either in our businesses or in our lives, all of a sudden we stop with being aware. We jump back into our belief systems that may or may not work for us. We do all kinds of stuff. And so that's why I have to remind everyone, before you start building your business, you have to get in that same space that you are as when you're with the horse in a round pen, riding on their backs, or in the field, paddock, or pasture. So creating the container for your success outside and inside is critical. Then, and only then, can you begin to go beyond. So also the second thing, once you've created this container for your success, that's when you really have to look at, who are you? What is your authentic self? And I say brand because your authentic self is your brand. And that needs to be congruent. It needs to be together. And I sent out an email, I think, that told a story about when I sold my apartment in New York City, that I almost sabotaged myself because I was trying to sell something that I didn't have. I was trying to sell a penthouse, a luxury doorman penthouse, when in fact, I did have the top 2 floors of a townhouse, but it was a very interesting and wonderfully unique, like we are. We're not, the slick thing that we all see on all the websites and on television and social media. We are our own perfect, authentic self. And that is who our brand should be. You notice I said who our brand should be, not just what. Then there's the perfect herd. You got to, no matter what you're developing, if you are not inviting the people in that are your people, that are people that are like-hearted, that identify with what you have and your gifts, then you're going to be wasting a lot of time. They are and you are, because it's not going to work. For those of you who've been with horses or have had riding instructors or excellent teachers or even husbands or wives who tell you amazing things, but you don't hear them because it's not necessarily in the best way for you to hear them. But then all of a sudden someone comes along and says something in the way that you can hear it. And all of a sudden somebody who has been telling you says, well, why are you just now listening to it? It's because it was said in the way that you need it to be heard. And so that's like your clients. They need to hear what they need to hear in the way they need to hear it. You need to have people who want to hear what you have to say, the way you have to say it. So finding this match is part of a successful business. It's an essential part of the successful business. But these things are in an order on purpose. So your perfect herd, you cannot discover unless you know who you are. And in order to really look at who you are and develop your brand from that, you have to put yourself in a place where you're very fully present and integrated from the mind, the heart, and the gut. And then finally, you get to your personal wealth formula. Finally, you can begin to think about business strategies, offers. What do you want to do? Now that you are perfectly present, you're integrated, you are aware of your authentic self, it's embodied in your brand, you have reached out to those people, you've done research, you know who your perfect herd is, then is when you can start offering things to people. So let's take a deeper dive into each of these. Again, for those of you who are wanting to ask questions, you can put it in the chat. And for those of you who are on the phone, just jot it down and then I'll give you a mic later. Okay, let's look at create the container for your success. So here are the bullet points that I cover and I feel are the most important ones for you when you are really looking at, well, what do you mean by building a container for success? What is involved in that? Well, the first thing is using your entire body as a source of intelligence. And we learned that a lot from the horses. That's what I mean by the integration. You can't just think about it. And that's what I meant by when people start trying to do their business after they've been through this incredible experience with their horses. Then they just go to their head and they forget about their heart and their gut. They go to their stories. They only go to the cognitive processing. So that using your entire body as a source of intelligence is critical. Then we have to learn the language of emotions. Now, if you are using your body as a source of intelligence and you're paying attention to your sensations and your emotions, it's very important for you to actually know, what is your body telling you? How do you know when it's right or when it's not right for you? How do you know when the flow is there, so to speak? And how do you know when what you're actually considering just doesn't feel right? Your language of emotions, they really have something to tell you. Then preparing the physical body. Your physical body is an amazing instrument, and there's all kinds of energetic blocks that can happen simply from the stories in your head. So your body and your mind need to be congruent. So doing some kind of physical way of inviting the body into the process is also very important. I'm talking about things like yoga or qigong, or there's so many different things that you can do. Any of these that you leave out are going to create a hole or a leak for your presence and your authenticity. And then you have to empty the cup before you fill the cup. I've been saying this since I started consulting back in the 90s. What I mean is, you can't come in and feel like you know it all. You've got to become aware of what it is you think you know. What are your stories? What do you need to let go of so that you can fill it up with something else? That is so challenging for me sometimes, because sometimes I don't even know what is stuffed in my cup. So part of this process that I'm talking to you about is about discovering what is in your cup. What do you need to let go of so that you can allow and invite those things that are going to nourish you and your business to success. And then, of course, the last thing, which I feel is probably one of the most important and certainly the most challenging for me, is self-forgiveness. I have to take a deep breath with that. Self-forgiveness, what does that have to do with creating success? What does that have to do with your brand? Have you noticed that you're kind of judging yourself sometimes? Do you notice that a lot of your interactions in life have judgments? Or are you afraid that you're going to be judged? There is so much judgment all around us. And that's one of the things I love about horses, is they do not judge. It's not in their vocabulary. It's not in their essence. So learning what you need to forgive, that's kind of like emptying the cup. And then how do you forgive yourself for simply being who you don't think you should be, or forgiving yourself for not being exactly the way that you think you should be. It's a very it's a hard thing to do, but it's absolutely necessary and essential. All right, discovering your authentic self and brand. Of course, this is pillar number 2. Now that you have yourself, you've created this sacred container, I call it, for success. You're ready to delve into yourself. Of course, you notice sometimes there's overlap in this, but that's because I'm just superficially separating them, because that's the way that it's easiest to explain them to you. So your authentic self and brand, that's the part of you that is uniquely you. Remember when I was talking about that people, you perfect herd, and people will hear you the way that they need to hear you. It's very important that you are aware of that. I am going to check here. There is so much. I'm sorry. I just kept having someone try to reach me, and I thought maybe there was something wrong with the recording. So the part of you that's uniquely you, and that is what you need to start out with. And then you have to know if if you're discovering your authentic self and brand, you have to know the why of your business. Why are you doing this? Is there a purpose? Is it just for money? Is it because you want to grow? Is it because you love horses? Is it because you want to serve? Is it because you have a gift that you need to share? You need to know the why of your business. And if you are delving into your authentic self, that why is so much easier to find. Now, the thing about your brand that's so important is, as I've said often, it is you. It is a reflection of who you can best serve, and it's imbued in every part of your business. So that's what I meant about your perfect herd. A reflection of who you can best serve. So this brand is kind of like a mirror. Remember when we talk about horses and we say they're a reflection of who we are, or the way they act is a reflection of who we are? It's the same thing with our brand. People are going to be attracted to that thing that's kind of like a mirror for them. Oh, I can relate to that. So that's why it has to be a reflection of who you can best serve, and it has to be imbued in every part of your business. So if you are being uniquely you, you're being authentic, you're very clear about why you're doing your business, then you're going to reflect that. And it's going to show up in how you represent yourself and the material that you are creating. So that's how those two, they're so interconnected. Now, this is what we do. This is what 3 ways that I feel that we sabotage our authenticity so easily. We dismiss what is real in our lives out of fear of judgment. Remember what I was saying about self-forgiveness? Fear of judgment and lack of acceptance. So we dismiss. Like I gave this example of my apartment in New York City. I was trying to sell a luxury penthouse because I didn't feel like anyone would really want my incredibly fabulous but not very traditional apartment in New York City. So I was sabotaging the authenticity of that place, and 2 deals fell through. Next, which is something I do all the time, look for validation and success outside of ourselves. I have this I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but this is being very transparent. When I see somebody be really successful, like especially with books, because I still haven't come out with a book that I want to, I think, oh my gosh, I'm not successful if I haven't done that. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I don't have the 30 years of experience that I have. Maybe this is wrong with me. Maybe that's wrong with me. Because I'm looking for some kind of validation outside of myself that's going to tell me that I'm all right. So that's sabotaging my authenticity because I think I should be like someone else. And then the last way that I think, and I run into a lot with my coaching clients, I think is common, is refusing to let go of our stories of reality. And that's those stories that say, you don't deserve this, you don't know enough, you're not enough, blah, 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 or I can't do this. All of these things, whether we are consciously aware of them at all. Think about the last time you were with a horse. If you're running those stories with them, you're going to have a very different experience than if you are deeply into your authenticity and into possibility, and you are watching your judgment and forgiving yourself for that and allowing it to dissipate. So how we sabotage our authenticity is one of the first places to start in developing our authenticity. I've had students ask me, how do I develop authenticity? Well, this is one of the first ways to start. How are you making sure that you do not recognize or stay in your authenticity? Now, here's some tips to help you find and express your authentic self. You can objectively observe your behaviors, your beliefs, and your assumptions, right? This means no judging. This means like, oh, wow, did I just really do that again? It's very, sometimes I have to do it like 2 or 3 times within a minute or an hour or a day, depending on what it is. I have to just take a deep breath and just watch what I'm doing. See, when we're with horses, they show us what we're doing. Because if we're not really there, if we're not really present, then either there's no connection, it breaks the connection, or perhaps depending upon their behavior, they may walk off, they may ignore you, they may get really agitated. I've seen all of the above. So, objectively observing your behaviors and beliefs and assumptions. So, another way to find and express your authentic self is to differentiate between the conditioned and authentic self. Now, this is something I go very deeply into in both my equine assisted coach training course as well as this course, Business Essentials. The conditioned self and authentic self, there's a lot of different ways to talk about this concept, but basically what it is for the purposes of this webinar is the conditioned self is those that learned behavior that we were conditioned with as we grew up, and they created the narrative and the stories that we have that we don't want to let go of. And so we have to get through those. We have to differentiate between what are those messages and what are my authentic self messages. So that's a whole process in and of itself. So that is a journey that is well worth taking. Is this conditioned? Whose idea is this? Whose words are these? Are these my mother's? Is this my husband's? Where did I get this little person voice? And where's the authentic self? It's important. And again, horses are incredible for showing us all of these things. And then finally, identify sabotaging incongruences in your life. Like if you want to be very, very healthy, for example, but you go to Taco Bell a lot, that's certainly an incongruency, right? Or if you really want to have connection, you want to be in a relationship with people, but you isolate, that's going to be very difficult. So notice if you are actually living in ways that are congruent with how you want to be or what you really like your life to be like, because that's living authentically. It's an interesting thing. It can be so simple, and yet it's hard to identify sometimes. Again, another journey. Okay, let's see. The third pillar, your perfect herd. I actually called this the money spot, because if you don't, as I said earlier, have the perfect herd, the people who you want most to support with your products and services, then you are not going to have the successful, thriving, satisfying, fulfilling business that I know that you want to have. And then what you need to do once you know who you want to support, then you need to look at the integration of what you do with what your herd needs and wants, right? So there's some research involved in this as you try to make this perfect match, right? Between your perfect herd, between what you want and who you relate to, and who relates to you and what they want. And so that is a combination that there's lots of ways to find this out. And that's what's going to be happening in this Business Essential course. But you need to know those two things. I remember when I first started working, my perfect herd was anybody who would write me a check. Because I was needing money at that time, because I'd stopped my corporate job and I really needed to make some money. And then I had so many snafus, so many things that just did not work out. And I wasted a lot of time because I was just accepting anyone. And then it occurred to me, who do I most feel like I could serve the best because of who I am? And so that helped me to identify who my herd is. And so that's who likes to work with me. because we kind of mirror each other. And that's what I mean by your authenticity and your brand mirror each other. And everything that I do comes from that. Everything Equine Alchemy comes from my authenticity. But of course, I have to go through all of these journeys on a consistent basis to make sure that my authenticity is still intact and it is my work and my offers are congruent with that. And so is my brand. And then number 4, your personal wealth formula. I just love that phrase. What you offer to who, that probably is to whom, and when for how much. So once you've done all of these other things, then you can say, okay, now what might I like to offer? So sometimes your personal wealth formula is actually called a funnel. I'm sure for those of you who have looked and studied with different people and have done some research and marketing courses, they all talk about a funnel. Well, I prefer a personal wealth formula because a funnel just sounds, I don't know, like a thing. But basically what it is ways, different ways and levels for you to connect with people, because my brand is about connection. If I don't connect with someone or build relationship, then it's not satisfying to me. And if it's not fulfilling and satisfying and inspiring and motivating to me, then how can I be of service to anyone else? So I think that a personal wealth formula are different ways and products for people to connect with you and become part of your herd. For example, there's a bunch of free stuff like this webinar, like newsletters, like content. It's called content marketing if you want to get into those vernacular. Really, I feel like I come from a place of abundance. I am not concerned that somebody's going to steal my stuff. You know, it's all out there for everyone, and everyone is welcome to so much of whatever it is if they want that of what I offer. Of course, I have to take care of myself as well, so I have to make different kinds of offers. Like maybe there's a low investment offer after the free ones, so that people who aren't quite sure, they know they want to spend a bunch of money, or they don't quite know if this is exactly what they want to do. They want to put their toe in the water, right? So they kind of like the content of the free relationship and content building materials. And then maybe there's a smaller thing that you can, than your big offer that you can offer them so they can step slowly and a little bit at a time into becoming part of your herd. And then there's those kind of medium upper level service offers. And those are ones that are going to cost a little more, and you give a little more and they get a little more. And then after you do that, then you have your pièce de la résistance, or your premium offer. So for me, I think I've gone through various things over the years with this. And I would say I love doing these webinars. This is one of the things I usually do monthly, these special events and these webinars. I like doing that. So that's part of the kind of relationship building free things that I like to invite people into, not just because I want them to work with me, but I offer it because I genuinely feel that it's going to make this industry better. Second, for the lower price things, there's some one-on-one coaching with me. That can be a lower price depending on the package you use. It can be a higher priced. I also offer the what I used to call business basics, but it's a home study course that is not the full enchilada, so to speak, so that you can learn the basics of equine assisted coaching. It's all online, but it doesn't give you enough to be ICF certified. And so, but some people don't want to be ICF certified, or maybe they already are and they want to kind of bring in horses. So that's why you can do those couple of things. And then my premier, if you want to call it premier offer, or, you know, the big enchilada, is my equine assisted coach training course. So that's what we mean by a funnel or your personal wealth formula, and how to package and how to price all of those. That's part of this business essential course that I'm talking to you about. So there is a method to this madness. You just like, how come some people are making it and some people aren't? Well, they if you want to break it down, they're following some essential structure. And so for you, what I'm offering is the four essential pillars: creating your success, your container for success. That is critical. That's about you. That's really about bringing in the energy. It's about opening it up, discovering your authentic self and brand, really connecting with who you are and how you want to bring that to everyone. And then inviting people into that to become your perfect herd through your personal wealth formula or your funnel. And so what I'm going to do, let's see here. I want to stop sharing here for a second. Oh, well, let's see. I'm going to tell you about this class in a minute, but I want to end the show, and then I want to go back here, stop screen share. Hi, we're back again. So I'd love to know, I'm going to look in the chat here and see if there are any questions. This is the Q&A time. Right. I will definitely post when I'm going to send out this webinar, the recording. And for you who are live here, I'm going to send you the slide deck as well. And then I will send also the authenticity assessment link. Okay. And you can do that. So that was a lot of information. And I just like to know what you heard, how you heard it. Let's see. Here's a message. Oh, good, Joanne. I'm so glad that you liked it. I'm giving people who are on the phone a microphone, but please mute yourself so that we can have a clean recording. But I'm giving you a microphone. You'll see that on your little screen. And who else? Who else is online that has a question? Or what did you hear? Or are you considering how you might apply it to your particular business? All of those. Okay, so while you're thinking, you all still have a microphone. I just want to show you this because you can still go in the chat right now. And I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to go back here. I'm going to do this. Okay, here we go. All right, so this class I've been talking to you about that really goes into all of this so clearly has been a rendition of it was part of the equine assisted coach training program that I've been doing for 12 years. Obviously, it needs to be updated. And also, everyone has been asking me, not everyone, but so many people have been asking me if I would please do this live. Could I please do this? Even though they have it as part of the coach training course, the students have said, can we just go and can we do a workshop out of it? Can we just do this so that we have support from each other and from me? And so I said, okay, I need to redo this anyway. So let's do this. So I built this new program, Business Essentials for the Equine Practitioner. It's going to be on February 13th and the 20th. They're 2 non-consecutive days. They're 4 3-hour modules. That means there'll be 2 modules on the 13th and then 2 modules on the 20th. There's a workbook that I have developed that is priceless. It comes from 20 years of my business consulting, and it's all based on these pillars. So you have all of these exercises to do. All of the journeys that I was telling you about, that the workbook is about that. That's what the course is about. And it's live, so you can give feedback in real time. You can ask questions in real time. If there's something more you want, I'm going to be asking for feedback at the end of each module. I will include those. So it's never going to be like this again. It's going to be recorded after this, and you will not be able to have the opportunity to give your input. So also, it's not going to be this accessible ever again. For these 4 modules, these 2 days, it's $4.97. And I can tell you, after having done, I have done so much investment in my own learning, plus having been a business consultant for 20 years. This is a smoking deal, as one of my friends would have said. Also, I made it so that it's really accessible. You can do 2 payments of $275. So it's I do have this, equinealchemy.com/biz-essentials. equinealchemy.com/biz-essentials. And also, for those who register before February 6th, the midnight, I'm going to do a bonus call where you'll have a chance to have done some more of the work, and then we'll regroup after the 2 calls for a couple of hours, and we'll be able to check in on your progress, see how you're doing, get some one-on-one coaching, and really make some progress in what it is that you're trying to do with your business right now. There's no better time. I have been looking at my business inside out since probably December, because this is such a perfect time. I usually do it every January, but there's always something going on. So this is the perfect time to do it, because we need to be inside anyway. And so all of this is online. You'll have access to the workbook. You'll have one-on-one coaching with me. You'll have all kinds of stuff. And again, you'll have that bonus call if you register before midnight on February 6th. Again, equineessentials.com/biz-essentials. All right, now I'm going to see if we have any other questions. I'm going to stop my screen share. Yay, hi. All right. Okay. I have someone who's interested in some coaching. Yes, I think a lot of people think they know everything, and they seem confused. So then if you want to reach out to me directly, this is for anyone. You can reach me at lisa@equinealchemy.com. I know some of you have reached out to me over LinkedIn and on Facebook, but if you want to reach out to me directly, equinealchemy.com, lisa@equinealchemy.com, and we can talk about it. So who else has a question? Let's see. You have, like I said, those of you on the phone have a microphone. Okay, no questions. I'm surprised. I'm interested in knowing who, and you can just put this in the chat, who here has an equine assisted coaching business or equine guided learning business. You can just do a thumbs up or yes or whatever in the chat. It would be interesting to know what kind of herd we have on this call. And am I getting anything? No. Okay. Real estate. Right. Well, the one thing that I want you to know is that these concepts do not just apply to equine assisted coaching, because, like I said, I was a business consultant for 20 years, and I know I built this business up into the 6 figures, and it's been that way for a long time, pretty consistently. So these are the concepts, these are the foundations, these are the pillars. And whatever business you're in, you can apply these to whatever it is you're doing. Let's see. Have an E3A certification in coaching mastery, but haven't started my business yet. Yeah, I was at the E3A conference in 2019. I don't know if you were there. It was here in Tucson. That's great. You need this if it's time to start your business. Let me tell you, if you try to start this without having some kind of training, some kind of business background, some kind of plan, you are going to waste so much time and so much money, and you're going to probably be very disappointed, and people aren't going to get to work with you because you won't stick it out. The biggest reason, and I think I said this in one of my emails, why businesses fail is because people don't stick with it. They get discouraged, or they don't have the skill set, or they don't have a mentor to help them. And so I would encourage all of you to do that anywhere. Of course, I'm inviting you to do it with me. But I feel like if you're going to have a successful business and people get the advantage of this incredible, powerful work, then you have to have all of those things. Yes. Let's see. The branding sounds. Yeah, you have to have a brand because people have to find you. One of my mentors that I've had so many different ones. Like I said, I have studied with so many different people, said, it doesn't matter if you have the best thing in the world, the best product, the best idea, the best project. If you don't have a brand and a way of inviting people into it, it's like standing with your front door open saying, hey, everybody, I've got this fabulous thing. How are people going to find you? How are people going to hear you? How are they going to know what you have? And how can they say yes if they don't have an answer to any of those other questions? So brand is critical, but brand has to be who you are, because you want to invite people into who you are so that you can connect more fully and more powerfully. Let's see. Hey, Janine. The foundation work you mentioned, that's such a great place to begin. Absolutely. That's what I said. People, they forget. They do this incredible stuff with the horses, and then they go into starting a business and they forget all of the horse wisdom. So there's a huge dose of that in this. I've actually done this class kind of like this with the horses at different times, but this is the first time that it'll be live and it'll be online. So, hi, Pam. Let's see. Oh, this is private to me. Sorry, I didn't say your last name. It's 6 hours live each day. Yes, there's 3 hours in the morning. It's going to begin at, what did I say? If you look at that web page, I think it's 10 Eastern time. So it's 3 hours, and there'll be a break, right? And there'll be an hour break for lunch, and then you come back and you do 3 hours. And that will also give you time to look and work and do stuff in the workbook, so that you can come back and get some feedback from me. Again, it's really important. That's why I said if you sign up before midnight on Sunday, we'll have this extra 2-hour call, and so I'll get to personally help you even more. Look at the workbook, listen to your questions, and also I'm sure I'll either on Slack or on Facebook, I'm going to have a site for us so that we can connect and I can review your work, and we'll have an opportunity you'll get the coaching that you need. Definitely. You can't just have the experience. That's what I think equine assisted coaching is, by the way. Horses do their thing, their magic, right? But we humans have a role in helping the other human understand and integrate the horse wisdom into their life. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm giving you a skill set. And part of what I want to do is support you with implementing that and putting it into your life. Let's see. Sean, hi. Yeah. Yes, as an attorney, branding is very, very important, especially if you're working with horses. Imagine, I know you're already doing that with the ethics course that you're doing. That's kind of your brand, by the way, Sean, when I think about it, because you are so right there. There's what you see. Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. We'll look at that's just part of the journey, knowing who it is that you want to interact with, who you want to come. I had people start the equine assisted coach training program who said, I know who I want to work with. I want to work with I want to work with moms, new moms, and I want to do this and I want to do that. By the time they finished the course, that's not who they wanted to work with. In fact, they got into real estate, and all of their coaching that they learned and the horse wisdom that they learned served them and made them a very successful real estate agent. So you see, you never know where these skills are going to come in, but they're life skills. They're not just business skills. That's why they're so powerful. And you can tell I get excited when I talk about this because I love it. Let's see. Anybody on the phone? Do you have any questions or words of wisdom for me? For all of us. Now, those of you who are in the coach training course currently, you get to this is part of your training course. So you're not paying for this. You're already getting this. So you can be on it live. And so I have said this to you, but I just want to say it to you again. So you're wondering, well, wait, I already paid for this. Yes, you did. And I'm just making it live, and I'm making it better and updating it and all of those things, which I like to do. Okay. I'm just checking here again. How do you access the workbook? I am going to give you, for the students, I'll give you the workbook. I'll give you the link on it on the Coach's Console, which is our electronic dashboard. For those students that sign up for the course, I will give you the link to each section of the workbook as right before each module. The reason why I do it that way is because if you don't do it in the order that I've said, you're going to skip all that stuff and you're going to go right to the personal wealth formula. And that is what I'm saying doesn't work. But then, of course, you have access to the whole workbook and we'll go through it. So I see someone 707. You unmuted yourself. Yay. Do you have a question? Who am I talking to?
I'm sorry. My name is Kathy, and I'm in my office at work, and I thought I was muted. And so then when I went to unmute myself, this has been great, though. I don't have any questions.
Okay.
This has been awesome, and I intend to email you later.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm so glad I got to hear your voice.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us. And thanks for getting on while you're at your office.
I'm sorry. I can't. Sorry, I can't hear you. Okay. I'm having technical difficulty.
No worries. I look forward to your email. Remember, lisa@equinealchemy.com for anybody who wants to reach out. Okay?
Yeah. This has been great, though. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, we all need this. We need the life skills for business. Maybe I should have called it that. Life skills for business. Well, that's part of the business essentials, right? So, yes, this will definitely be recorded if you cannot do it. And again, like I said, if you sign up before Sunday night, then you could still go live. And if for some reason you just can't get there, we'll figure something out. But yeah, it will be recorded because I want you all to have it and have the deck, have the workbook, have everything. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Anything else from anyone? I love hearing from you guys. It's been so much fun putting this thing together. And yeah, it's good for me. It's good for me to refresh, relearn, re-engage. And that's one thing I'm looking forward to because it's live. This class is going to be live. And now it's because I get your input, right? Because as part of the herd, you give me information about what I need, right? What I need to do to be of the best and most valuable service to you. So that is another thing when we're talking about kind of free things. That assessment that I made, the authenticity assessment, there's a coaching strengths assessment that you can reach on the Equine Assisted Coach training page. Actually, on the homepage, you can reach it too. I love doing assessments. one of the reasons is people like doing them, but also it's information for me. I get to learn where people are, what people want, and that enables me to serve you better. So that's, when you think about the free stuff, there's an important context for you to have. And it's not, I'm just giving away free stuff. The context is, what can I do to be of service in a way that will invite people in? What can I do to just be of service to people? Right? So this whole context, and that's part of my authenticity. That's part of my brand. And you're going to have your own. But that's what the journey is, learning how. So I'm looking at the time. I'm seeing if there's any other questions. Yeah, we all need a refresher. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all so very much for being here. And I'm very honored that you decided to spend your time hearing about essential skills, life skills, essential life skills for business. Maybe that's it. And yeah, so I will be sending out this recording and the deck, because there are several of you on the phone, to those of you who who were here live. And again, you guys are the only ones that have the opportunity for the extra bonus. So take advantage of it. All right, everyone. Again, thank you so much. So much. And I hope you have a lovely evening. Good night.
Thank you.
Let's see here.